Hey guys, this is Rev up in Washington. Happy Homebrew Wednesday, July 6, 2016. It's been over a year since my last Homebrew Wednesday video. I think I shot 3 or 4 of them back last spring with the intention of kind of jumping in and doing at least one a month, if not a couple per month. But just everything just went crazy in my life last year. My kids started playing ice hockey. I got a couple of new part-time jobs, some new volunteer opportunities, projects around the house, a bunch of rebuilding and fixing projects like mowers and motorcycles and stuff. I'm sure you guys can all relate. It seems like I didn't even have time to brew as much as I wanted to, let alone produce any videos. So that's kind of why they petered out. But summer hit, and all of a sudden I got the beer bug again. I started lurking in some homebrew forums, got caught up on a bunch of brewing podcasts. Heck, I even brewed 3 beers in June. I brewed a German Pils, a Dark Mild, and a Best Bitter. All 3 of those I think are be going into keg this week. Maybe I'll do a tasting in an upcoming episode. Anyway, over the 4th of July weekend, I got a whole bunch of great bargains. That we have a local auction. They call there some auction, but it's really a big swap meet that the local Rotary puts on here. It's huge. Every year they earn hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I picked up a lot of great stuff at that. And I even picked up some brewing related things over the course of the 4th of July weekend. And that got me thinking. So I thought I would feature one of my big finds this weekend on this episode. This is a 2-tap cold plate Jockey Box, and up till now I've been serving my kegged beer out of cooler with ice with just picnic taps, right? Everybody knows that works great, no problem there. But I've always had my eye on some kind of a Jockey Box system, either with a stainless coil or with a cold plate. And then I happened to find this on Craigslist, and really it was a super bargain. I got the whole thing, all the plumbing, all the connectivity, the taps, everything, for about the price of a 2-line cold plate. So I got it from this older gentleman who just hasn't been brewing that much lately, and his wife's after him to get rid of some stuff. So lucky me, I got this great deal. I thought, hey, this would be a great time to get back into Homebrew Wednesday, put out a video. So I put together a little tour of what I got in my package. I'll jump to that now. All right, first of all, my garage is kind of a mess, so hopefully you won't get too much of an eye full of crap in here. And hopefully I won't give you too much of the Blair Witch Project while I'm shooting this video. So I love the O'Doul's non-alcohol brew right on the front of this sucker. The older gentleman from whom I purchased the Jockey Box, he said that he got it actually originally from a tavern owner when the tavern went out of business, so I'm sure that the tavern probably got comped this cooler, from O'Doul's or whatever. I don't think I'll be fooling anybody with the non-alcohol brew on the front. I really like the steel coolers from Coleman. They don't seem to bow out as much. I don't know if you've noticed, but if you use a cooler repeatedly, either as a mash tun or to hold kegs and ice over time without that lid being latched down, or with the temperatures or whatever of the mash tun, the walls start to bow out a little bit if you fill them up too much or whatever. So here's the front side. You can see where the shanks for the taps come out the front. Metal latch. Here's the business side. On the inside, you can see the 2 shanks coming through. The 2-line cold plate. The black beer line looks really cool. I like it if you've got it exposed or whatever, but I don't trust it. I never know. I don't know if it's clean or not. I mean, I'm pretty rigorous on my own cleaning processes, so I usually get rid of the black line in favor of clear beer line, because you can really kind of
see if it starts building up beer stone or gets cloudy or whatever when you know you need to replace the line. You can see there's the 2-line aluminum plate. The black lines right now, that's the out. So if you look closely down in there, they've actually got the barbs labeled. So you can see they got out 1 and out 2. And then they come out here. And I will probably put numbers on the front, or I don't know why he's got it set up the way it is now, but I'll probably have number 1 on the left and number 2 on the right, just for memory's sake. One of the cool things about this cold plate is it's got a rack that it's sitting on. So the rack, you can see it in there, it's kind of a rubberized metal rack. The rack will make sure that ice or cold water or whatever will get underneath the cold plate, and it makes it easy to lift it out because that sucker's a little bit heavy. There are my 2 inlets, so number 1 in and number 2 in. Right now, the size of those barbs is really set up for the beer lines he's got for the Sankey keg, which are significantly bigger than this beer line. So I got a little temporary fix for that this weekend, but I've ordered some smaller barbs for standard 1/4-inch inner diameter beer line. Here's where the beer comes in the back through those ports right there. Oh, there's part of my mess. All right, and then he's got them labeled 1 and 2. Again, I'm going to change it because I'm going to make number 1 on the left, number 2 on the right. This is America, right? So read left to right. Some of the other stuff that came with this package. These are the beer lines themselves. Again, I'm not a huge fan of the black. Looks really sleek and looks really cool. But I like to see if it's clean or not. So I'm going to get rid of these. Plus, you can see that these are set up for, right now, these are set up for Sankey kegs. That's too big of a fitting for me. I'm you know, ball lock Cornelius soda keg guy myself. So I've already got the hookups for this to set up for corny kegs. Came with a full size CO2 regulator. Right now the fitting on there again is set up for Sankey kegs, but and full size tank, you know, like 5-pound, 20-pound tank. I am actually going to be using my paintball CO2 system with this. It's much more portable, not as heavy, doesn't take up as much space, and really you don't really need a 5 or a 20-pound tank when you're doing portable dispensing. This is the actual beer lines. This is the CO2. These are for the CO2 lines for the Sankey keg. So the blue line right here hooks in here, and then this is a valve, you know, a double valve or a splitter for the CO2 system. You can put valves in there so you could turn it on or off or just run one system. I'm not real happy with the color of that tubing, even though it's just the CO2 lines. I'll probably end up replacing that. Here's one of the Sankey taps. The taps for the front of the cooler came with both of those. And then here is this is my paintball regulator. I've got it set up for, you know, 2 keg dispensing with valves, and you can see here the corny keg, the ball lock fitting. So that's what the package is. Totally complete. I could go right down to my local brewery and get a keg and get started right out of the box with the way it was when I picked it up from the gentleman. And I already had most of the plumbing for corny kegs at home anyway, so really I could have used it the day that I that I bought it, and I'll be using it this weekend. I've got a function where I brew that I volunteered to brew beer for. Maybe I'll shoot some video there. I don't know if I'll shoot video or not, but I'll certainly use it, and I'll give a review on that. And yeah, like I said, converting it over to Cornelius kegs, and I'm already thinking about how I can modify this and make it a little bit cooler.
So that's it. That's everything I got with it. And like I said there, he used it for Sankey kegs, and he had a big CO2 jug that he used with it. I'm probably going to use my paintball regulator. It's a little bit more portable. It's really all the CO2 you need for a portable system like this. I got some great mods in mind, some ways to kind of, even though this is a significant upgrade to my beer presentation at parties and picnics and things like that, I've got a really cool little upgrade in mind, a little modification I got in mind with another Coleman metal cooler that I picked up at that swap meet that I got for like $2 or $3 that I'm going. Anyway, if I finish that up, I will show you what I did there. I've also got a test run for this scheduled for this weekend. A little bit of pretty big gathering that I'm going to bring a couple of beers to. I'll let you know how that turns out. Before I take off this week, I just want to give a little shout out to my local homebrew store owner, Bill, over at Olympic Brewing Supplies. He's been my main homebrew shop the entire time I've been brewing, and crap, that's been almost 10 years, starting with when my wife went in to surprise me for Christmas and bought my first beginner kit and setup, all the way to I was just in the store today. And really friendly, helpful, knowledgeable staff, always great conversation in there, super helpful and courteous, just the best, just super over there at Olympic Brewing Supplies. So until next time, guys, happy Homebrew Wednesday. This has been Rev. Drink well. Sláinte.